So I think what we'll do is practice, because that's where it happens. And I'm going to offer guidance here. And so, as always, tune into it as much as you find it useful to do that. Because sometimes we run into difficulties with being able to really let the mind go into goodwill in this way, loving kindness. And people sometimes ask, well, how do you get this started? It can be feel like a journey from the stressful mind, the analytical mind, to this kind of spaciousness and letting go and warmth that comes with metta. And there are a couple of different ways that I use, and because I'm used to it and I've been using it for years, I have pretty good luck with this sort of Buddha's description of, filling one quarter and the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter with loving kindness above, below, around, and everywhere. And to all as to myself. That standard kind of description of the Buddha from the Buddha for how to practice this. But that isn't what works for everyone. So I'm gonna drop some suggestions into this meditation that you can make use of if you find it attractive, available to you. And then afterwards, we can have a conversation about what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what the results have been for you, either over time or in this period of time, today. And maybe that will help. We can help one another find the road in, the doorway to this beautiful, boundless goodwill and kindness. So as always, regardless of the type of practice we're going to do, we start by checking in on our posture. Relaxing, noticing any tension you feel in your body. We can start at the top of the head and check around the eyes and the jaw and the neck. And just notice how you're feeling, how the body is feeling and positioned. And I want to adjust a little bit, make the spine straight but not rigid, comfortable. Notice how your hands and arms feel. Can they relax? Your chest, your back. How it feels sitting the way you're sitting. Let your belly relax. Your legs and feet. And of course, this is just the beginning, but we check in on the body. Maybe there are some areas that are uncomfortable. Maybe you can do something to help that a little bit, or maybe not. And then we just acknowledge what's there with kindness. We have to be aware of any aversion we might have. Let's see if we can bring our mindfulness to it and kindness to it. And if the mind starts to be critical, and to step back from that and bring some kindness to that aspect without trying to sort of get rid of it, but just accepting at this point in the beginning, accepting, being present, kind and compassionate towards our own body. And also towards our mind. So in the same way that we observe the body and we notice the state that it's in, we also observe the mind and notice the state that it's in. Maybe tired, maybe tight, maybe sad, maybe worried, or maybe relaxed, restful, peaceful, or whatever it is. I'll say it almost doesn't matter. We're observing the mind and the emotions, the feelings, and just noticing how they are, how the state of the mind is right now. Making the intention to not take it as me and mine. So we notice the state of the mind. See it as an object, not as ourself. Know that it's okay to feel what we feel. If we try to push things away with some aversion, it's quite the opposite of what we are opening ourselves to right now. Like Ajahn Pasanno said, not gritting our teeth, trying to push through, but relaxing, accepting what's there. As we bring kindness to the state that we're experiencing right now, we're already igniting that kindness in the heart. And this is the time when everything belongs. Now, of course, we also know quite a lot about what's wholesome and what's unwholesome. And we're standing, if you will, in the position of that which observes and sees and knows. Observing and seeing the state of the body and the state of the mind. Because the unwholesome will diminish as we bring in more of what's wholesome, what's happy, what's kind, compassionate, ethical, beautiful. So one approach at this point is using some kind of series of phrases. You can use some that you've heard before, or you can make up your own. Like, may I abide in well-being. May everyone abide in well-being. May I be free from anxiety and fear. May all beings be free of anxiety and fear. May I be free from any kind of anger or ill will. May all beings be free from any kind of anger or ill will. May I be safe. May all beings be safe. May I be peaceful. May all beings be peaceful. You can bring to mind whatever arises spontaneously from your heart. Use the phrases that really have meaning for you, that really touch you, and bring more kindness, spaciousness, goodwill to fill the mind, fill the heart. Or another approach, as I mentioned before, is to use that description we find in the suttas. I will abide, pervading one quarter, with a mind imbued with loving kindness. And you really fill one quarter of your being, however you might imagine that to be, with that sense of loving kindness and goodwill. For me, it shows up like a soft, tingling energy. And there's a warmth there, a compassion, kindness. When it's palpable, I can feel it filling the whole area in front of me, the front of my body, around my face, my head, my feet, everywhere, right from the core outwards before me. And then when it says likewise the second, I intend the same thing on the right side of my body, And then that whole area fills with this beautiful, warm, loving energy from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. And likewise, the third is the backside of my body, from the core of my physical system out behind me, filling that whole area. And likewise, the fourth is the left side, completing this kind of tube that takes in my whole body and the space around it. And there's just this kind of soft hum. And not everyone has the same experience. Just notice what that intention evokes in you. And then above, kind of filling in all above me, and below, filling in that same warmth and goodwill, that feeling of love below me, around and everywhere. When that phrase comes, then I feel this kind of expansion of that warmth, that loving kindness, soft, beautiful energy all around, everywhere. And then to all as to myself, really expanding out to everyone, everyone in the room, everyone in the house, everyone in the town, everyone in the world. Human, animal, devas, all living beings. It says, I will abide pervading the all-encompassing world with a mind imbued with loving kindness, abundant, exalted, and immeasurable, without hostility, without ill will. And by that time, I can't even imagine hostility or ill will, and I don't wish to. There's not a speck of it left. So this is another way we can train. You know, when you do this, you might hear a sound in your ears, a soft background sound that's steady and comforting. Or you might see light. All of this is just vibration, and it can be sort of the same kind of vibration as you might feel through your body, or just the heart being full and open. We all sense things a bit differently, and if none of that is happening, it's not a problem. It's just noticing for you what happens when you turn your mind, your attention, and your intention to developing the state, this vehicle of loving kindness, this basis of loving kindness. And as this develops, it's a doorway, a gateway to immersion. As we immerse ourselves in loving kindness, we could come to the same point as if we're, practicing jhana. Eventually, you may come to the point where you couldn't move if you wanted to. You can't bring words into the mind, even if you were to try. And you just let the process unfold in its own way. For your own benefit and for the benefit of all beings. If your mind starts to drift away or that sense of loving kindness starts to fade a little bit, you can bring in another element and more reminder. Or sometimes, if you're used to using your breath as an object, you can still use it to sharpen your mindfulness and your intention to develop loving kindness, to really cultivate it. Expand it. You might even think of it as thickening it in a way that's beautiful, that's comforting, that's peaceful and healing. Recalling that the most important thing, at least as Ajahn Pasanno thinks, is that spaciousness and well-being towards ourselves and towards others. The dissolving of the sense of self. We're not trying to get anywhere, to gain anything, just being kind, filled with this beautiful quality that actually is natural to the human heart. It arises in the most unexpected places sometimes. Natural to you. Not to get confused that this mind is mine or me. Only knowing that these qualities of mind are here and available. This loving kindness. And it's our making use of it, evoking it, developing it, cultivating it, that brings us more and more into the experience of it. Always there, always readily available, like the Dhamma. It's up to us to turn towards it.